Hello, and welcome to another episode of Me and the Road. Glad you could make it to another one. I'm getting great responses on these videos, and thanks so much. And if you're just visiting here for the first time, or if you've been here before and you haven't, I'd ask you to please like the video and subscribe, and you'll get notifications about when a new episode goes up on YouTube or my website, bernieshervalley.com. This episode it's not really a road story, but it's part of my music journey. This is a story that took place when I was maybe 15 or 16 years old, before I became a professional musician. But very influential time for me. When I was a teenager, 15, 16 years old, I had some friends that I played music with, specifically Dennis Bedini, Gary Kohler, John Laverne, Mitch Hennard, Kate Kerner. I know I'm going to leave people out, but these were people that were all close friends of mine. And we got involved in a local church group, the Blessed Sacrament Church in Santa Venetia, California, which is a suburb of San Rafael, which is the county seat of Marin County. And every Sunday we would play at the church mass on Sundays. But we were a little different. We were very influenced by the Beatles, Crosby, Stills and Nash, so on and so forth, the Byrds, Buffalo Springfield. So I was way into that music, and so were they. And so we played a lot of those songs. And so some of these songs would creep into the church mass. And we had a great priest that we used to hang out with, Father Doyle, just such a great guy. And he really encouraged us creatively and allowed us to play these songs. And we used to do benefits for the church in the rectory hall next door, and we'd raise money and put on these little mini, like, hey, let's throw a concert or whatever, or let's put on a show, kind of like the old Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland old movies. But that's what we did. We'd put on these little shows, and for being teenagers, we did a pretty good job. So I don't know who came up with the idea. Maybe it was me, I'm not sure. But reading about Crosby, Stills and Nash, I was a huge fan of theirs. And I knew that Crosby had lived on a sailboat at this point in his life in Sausalito. And Sausalito's right in Marin County, only about 7-8 miles from where I was living at the time. And so one day, my friend Kate, and I believe it was Dennis and Gary, I can't remember exactly who it was, but a small group of us went down. We went down to Sausalito, found the docks, Pier 5, I think it was. I can't remember which pier it was, but it was kind of behind the Viña del Mar Park there. We somehow walked right into into the docks where all these sailboats were harbored, and we walked around. And I knew that Crosby's boat was called the Mayan. Sorry, the garbage truck is going by. I knew his boat was called the Mayan, so that's what we did. We looked around for the Mayan. And after a few minutes, not long, we found it. And there was somebody outside the boat working on it. And he looked at us and said, "Can I help you?" And I think I said, "Well, we wanted to talk to David Crosby about possibly playing at our benefit." Kids. Anyway, he goes, "Well, okay, just a second." So he goes down into the boat, and a few minutes later, out pops this, red mane coming up out of the, whatever you call it, the hull or whatever you call it, down in the main part of the boat, the living part of the boat. And it's David Crosby. And we just were kind of taken aback, but it's Crosby. And he was super nice. And he said, "What's up, you guys? What's up?" And so we explained to him we were putting on this little concert, raising money for our church, our community. and would he be into playing? And he said very politely, said, thanks so much for asking me. He goes, but I've kind of made it a policy to be picky about which benefits I play if the PA is not up to standards. I've got to have a good PA. He was politely declining. But he says, I've got a friend that might be interested in doing this. We're like, okay. And he says, his name's Peter Tork. Well, immediately I knew Peter Tork was one of the Monkees, the bass player of the Monkees. And we're like, okay. And so he gave us Peter Tork's phone number. And Peter Tork, at this point in his life, was living in Marin County somewhere. Not exactly sure where. Mill Valley, maybe. Anyway, we took his number, thanked him. So I went home, and I was living at home at the time still with my parents because I was 15, 16 years old. And I had this phone number, and I remember, I'll never forget it, picking up my mom and dad's phone and using the rotary dial and calling this number. And a guy answers the phone, hello, and I'm like, hi, my name's Bernie, and I was given your number by David Crosby, and he said that we should call you. We're putting on this benefit, explained to him what it was, and would he be interested in playing? And he said, when is it? And I can't remember when it was, to be honest with you. It might be stamped on the photographs. I'll have to look. But he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I was like, well, okay. I thought sure he was going to turn us down. But he accepted it. And time went on, and we planned the gig out, and then it was the day of the gig, and I don't know if we communicated with Peter again before then. I don't really remember, but he knew the date, he knew the time, and that day, sure enough, he shows up before the gig starts. I'll never forget it. He walked in, and he had super long hair and a big beard, very hippie-ish looking, which he was, which we all kind of were. We were younger. This was, mind you, this is after the Monkees had peaked and shows canceled, and the Monkees pretty much was done at that point. So Peter obviously moved to Marin County and pursued his career as a musician, but he walked in with a banjo case and a guitar case. I remember that. I remember going, banjo? That's kind of strange. Back then that was just kind of unusual. But he helped us set up. He kind of just hung out backstage, and my friend's band, Gary Kohler's band, Chorale, I think they opened the show. And then Logos, my band, and we were all playing acoustic. You'll see the pictures that I'll put up. It was me, and we kind of combined bands. But it was me, Dennis, Gary, Jeff Von Leer was another guy that was involved, John Laverne, of course, and Mitch and Art. Then I think Logos played a set afterwards, and then sure enough, Peter Tork comes out, and he just delighted the audience. He just had all these cool, I don't remember if he played any Monkee songs. I don't think he did. He may have, but I don't remember him. But it was mostly like some of his original songs and traditional folk tunes he played, and had great little stories. He was hilarious, super, really nice. It was just unbelievable. And anyway, he finished his show out, and everybody went home, and he hung out with us and helped us clean up, fold away chairs, put them away, and just hung out with us. It was unbelievable. He was really, really sweet to us. And for me, like I said, I was a big Monkees fan, I confess. I had their first two albums, I just wore out. Being a Beatles fan, they kind of fell right into that, quartet band, funny, good pop songs, good vocals, just fun. So I dug the Monkees. So it was a big deal for me to meet Peter Tork and actually share a stage with him, so to speak. And of course, David Crosby is still a hero of mine to this day. He's making better music than he's ever made. But if it wasn't for David, that wouldn't have happened. And I've gotten to meet Crosby 2 or 3 times over the years. I know his son, James. James is a complete sweetheart. But Crosby's forever a huge idol of mine. So that was neat, meeting him and then meeting him again later. I think I even told his son, James, about this story once, and he had a good laugh over it. Anyway, so that's my meeting Peter Tork, a Monkee. I don't know what else to say about it except that it was awfully cool. Again, thanks for visiting my series, Me and the Road. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, which I believe you would be if you're watching this, please like it and please subscribe if you're if you have a YouTube account or whatever, however it works. And you'll get notifications whenever I post something new to YouTube. And that also pertains to my Patreon site, where I put videos from my members there to watch. Okay, hope you're having a good holiday season, because it's getting close to Christmas, and I think we just ended Hanukkah. But anyway, you guys stay safe. God bless you. Peace and love. Bye.
Just me and